damn, I forgot YouTube. Might be, might be, might be. Now it's up though. Oh well. So yeah, that's what we need. They're making fun of Talarico for his type of um, masculinity, but his type of masculinity is actually the good type of masculinity where you are sacrificing yourself for the women and the children and people that aren't as strong as you, where you are the provider, where you are looking out for uh, those who have less than you. That's masculinity that, or Christianity, masculinity, whatever, that Telerico is pushing. And they're making fun of him for it. And they just don't see the irony because they're fucking idiots. They're fucking stupid.
You're the right-wing idea. You know what's masculine to me? Looking after your community. That's masculine. It's a masculine characteristic to actually care about other people, to try to get people healthcare, get people education, get people higher wages, get people vacation time, actually look out for other people's interests. You know, by that logic, left-wing politics actually have masculine values. The man being the provider, right? The traditional idea of the man being the provider. Like, I want to look out for everybody around me. Whereas right-wing values are what? Fucking pedophilia? Rape? Sucking off Israel, which is all you do, by the way. I mean, he's chief Netanyahu dick sucker. Like, what are right-wing values? Selfishness, greed, manipulation, lies. Seriously, what are right-wing values? Endless war, cutting taxes for the billionaires. Like, spare me with your utter fucking nonsense. All right, let's see some of the replies here, because I'm sure this gets good. This is Republican politics. No solutions, just childish nonsense that helps no one. This is the same dude that endorsed the guy who called his wife ugly. Hopeful Ted Cruz picture on
that part too. Like, you're gonna talk about masculinity and you are like balls deep into a guy who Trump is balls deep into you after he's fucking made fun of your wife? Bro, no, sir. Like, there isn't, unless a full-throated apology publicly and, I don't know, some sort of gift, and if my wife said it's okay, I forgive him, then I could be like, alright, we'll squash it. We can squash this. But never getting an apology after he calls your fucking wife ugly? Nah. Forever. Persona non grata around the McKinn house.
He gifted a signed copy of Masculinity-ish for Dummies from class valedictorian Lindsay. Those are just my ladybugs, Graham. So yes, this man right here is lecturing James Talarico about masculinity. This guy right here. Yeah, Ted Cruz is who people think of when they picture masculinity. Yeah, he looks like a fucking blobfish. You know the picture of the blobfish that's gone viral online? He looks like a blob. And he's
that's
lecturing
funny.
People about masculinity.
He does.
Famously masculine, Ted Cruz concedes he is owned and indeed has an ugly wife. Look at this picture. Apparently, Ted Cruz doesn't own a mirror, and neither does that Hannity guy. I think Ted is just mad because he doesn't float. I love the most unfuckable cuck on earth determining what a man is. Republican men like Ted Cruz are why we choose the bear. Gross. You think you are masculine? We in Texas remember your love of porn. I would categorize that as very masculine. And your cowardice exactly. When Trump called you your wife ugly. You're so unattractive. Sickening, really. The opposite of Talarico. Signed, your constituent. If you killed Ted Cruz on the floor of the Senate and the trial was in the Senate, nobody would convict you, Lindsey Graham. Is that... No. Are these real, these quotes? I mean, I know they all hate him, but have they said shit like that? I've met Ted Cruz. I wouldn't use the word masculine to describe him either. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever used masculine to describe a person. I'll leave that to Lindsey Graham. It's not my rodeo. Ted Cruz enthusiastically endorses Trump, the guy who called his wife ugly. Gay. Nothing is more masculine than leaving millions of Texans freezing while Ted Cruz ran away to Cancun, like I said. Anyway, this goes on here. I think they actually have the... Oh, here we go. That's what I was looking for. Look at this. See this picture here of Cruz on the phone? That's after Trump mocked him and his wife, and he went and he fucking phone banked for him. And that's the picture of him phone banking for Trump. What a fucking embarrassment. And then this is the post Trump made about Ted's wife. No need to spill the beans. The images are worth 1,000 words. In other words, your wife is so ugly, I could never nut thinking of your wife, bro, but look at my hot wife. This is what Trump posted in March 23rd, 2016. This is the man who you sold your motherfucking soul for, you little bitch. Who's the real man in the race? James Talarico. He is. Who's the real Christian in the race? James Talarico. Because you know what James Talarico does? He goes out there and says, I actually believe in the philosophy of Jesus, and I want to, like, spread that philosophy and that ideology to look out for the downtrodden, the sick, the poor, the disrespected and left behind by society. That's who I'm looking after. Who's Ted Cruz looking after? The criminal Israeli government, the billionaires, right? Donald Trump, MAGA fascists and warmongers. That's who he's looking out for. I still got this, too. Talarico is so preferable to the wanton criminal Ken Paxton that Ken Paxton's lawyer came out and endorsed Talarico.
That's crazy. Imagine. Whoa, your lawyer knows all your fucking dirt, bro. Your lawyer knows all your dirt. And he's like, I can't have you as my elected official. I have to vote for the other guy because he's nowhere near as dirty as you.
Make this up. This guy saw Ken Paxton up close, and he goes, oh my word, never in a million years. I got to endorse against this guy. Listen.
I think what people are hungry for is a campaign that's going to bring us together.
And that is exactly why I am supporting you. As you know, I defended Ken Paxton for years in the impeachment trial and in state criminal cases. But in my view, respectfully, I think Ken has lost sight of his core mission.
Respectfully, Ken, you've lost sight of the conservative values. My guy, he was never about a conservative values. He's like, these conservatives will give me all their fucking money. All I gotta say is Jesus Christ and Texas first, and I'll get it. Like, oh my Jesus. Ken Paxton is living in a $2 million home with his fucking mistress who is married, still married right now.
I would bet a lot of money that Ken Paxton stiffed this guy and didn't pay him. I bet he's got Trump syndrome where he has somebody do something for him and never pays him, and then that guy becomes an enemy.
Is to represent the people of Texas. And unlike Ken, I believe to my core, James, that you believe in unity over division, and that you know how to assemble not only Democrats but independents and Republicans, and we need that right now. We need it more.
We don't need Republicans. Like I've been saying, bro, just stay home. Like, just stay home. If you're so afraid of, like, rainbows turning you gay, if you're so afraid of trans kids, if you're so afraid of fucking minorities cooking tacos, just stay at home. Like, you don't need to vote. You don't need to go outside. You can just watch Amazon Prime, watch your Netflix, eat your frozen pizzas. Like, that's all good. Go ahead, live that life. That life's fine for you. You won't get scared. Nobody's gonna come after you. The invasion isn't gonna bust down your door. Don't worry. Let us go, like, drink tequila shots and fucking set off fireworks and touch grass and eat tacos, and enjoy the World Cup. Let us do that. You can go be your Republican conservative ass self at home. Stop voting.
More than in my lifetime, and I'm old as dirt. But we need unity. We don't need any more division, and that's why I'm supporting you.
Ken Paxton's own lawyer endorsing James Talarico. Make of that whatever you will. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notification. Not only did he not win it in the first round, he didn't even get past the first round. He's not making it to the general election. It's going to be two Democrats against each other. So I showed you Megyn Kelly, I showed you Meghan McCain, I showed you apparently a bunch of Megans came out and said that the election was stolen. And he got all sorts of MAGA hacks saying, Republican hacks saying, oh, this election is definitely stolen. Well, I explained to you the other day how that's just factually wrong. What happened here was the same thing that happened in the 2020 election. It's called a red mirage scenario because the votes that are counted later are mail-in votes, and mail-in votes skew overwhelmingly Democratic, so it's not a surprise that there were more and more Democratic votes that came in over time, right? Like, people predicted this exact thing would happen. I predicted it would happen based on articles I read in 2020, right? During the Joe Biden-Donald Trump race. Well, these idiots are not buying it. They don't care. Listen to what MAGA Mike Johnson, or Moses Mike Johnson, as Jennifer Welch calls him, is saying now. Here we go.
So does the tip of the iceberg.
Speaking of fraud, the president keeps saying that there's election fraud in the California mayor's race. What evidence is there to prove that?
You tell me, Manu. They are counting votes weeks after the election. We have entire nations with huge populations, like India, that can count their votes in 24
So you're
48
saying
hours.
it's rigged like the president?
I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm saying it sticks to high heaven, and everybody knows that.
I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm just saying it's rigged. Are we really doing this again when the fucking war criminal pedophile con man that you guys all support nearly destroyed this country and obliterated this country because of January 6th, because of the fake elector scheme, and we're doing this again? So for the rest of my life and your life, y'all, we're never going to have a Republican just hold an L. Never. It's never just going to be, yeah, we lost that one. Guys, I need you to understand, this is a blue wave year in one of the bluest cities in America. And they're saying it's rigged because the Republican lost. I can't even wrap my mind around the stupidity and the inaccuracy of that. And if you're not willing to accept that in a blue wave year in one of the bluest cities of America, a Republican loss, you're not going to accept any loss ever again, ever.
Let's remove the appearance of impropriety. Let's have, what a concept. Let's have votes on an election the day of the election. That's what many states are able to do. I think California is playing around with this.
But what evidence is there to prove that there was
Look,
rigged?
some of these efforts are so diabolical and so far upstream it is impossible to prove. But I think everybody knows instinctively something is wrong here.
Oh my word. Oh no! Oh, instinctively. Instinctively, he knows something is wrong. The same guy who has an app to monitor his son's porn usage and how much he jacks off. Your son monitors how much you jack off, and you monitor how much your son jacks off, but I'm supposed to trust your instincts as to what makes sense and doesn't make sense. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. Oh my word. You guys are the dumbest people on earth. Why should I trust your instincts on anything? Your instinct is always going to tell you, you're right, Democrats stole it, Trump is right about everything. Like, again, they don't care about democracy. I genuinely and sincerely don't know how we continue to have a country with these people. Like, you can only have a country if people are willing to accept and abide by the rules, right? Abide by the Constitution. Agree that the institutions get the last say, that there are checks and balances. On every single front, they put their middle finger up and say, fuck it, we're doing what we want. Well, again, okay, then sorry, we should just split up. Like, we should just split up. Red states of America, blue states of America.
No, I don't know about that. No. I do think we need more consequences. Like the consequences of, them getting kicked out of Congress, censured, or losing their... What if they have videos of Mike Johnson fucking kids? That's why he's so far up Trump's ass and like doing it at whatever the fuck he I can to defend that man. But anyways, yeah, we need when you a great law that I brought up before is if we had a law that politicians are just not allowed to lie to the public. Just like, you cannot lie to the public. Your job, you work for us, you cannot lie to us. No insider stock trading or individual stock trades by members of Congress. Like, a better code of conduct we need for these people, because they are getting way out of hand, and we, the people who they're supposed to represent, who they're supposed to be putting first, they're supposed to put God, country, and the people first. That's what they're supposed to be doing in D.C. They're not doing it. They are not doing it. I do not feel like they are looking out for our best interests in the in Congress.
Come back in 100 years.
Especially the
see how we're
the
doing.
White House
Yep.
is like, White House is legitimately not looking out for us. They're looking out for Trump and all of their friends. Okay, so yeah, the Congress, who's supposed to represent us, not looking out for us. Supreme Court, actually, I don't know if it was a real statistic too. So all three branches are currently not looking out for the people. As even the Supreme Court, but I think it was like maybe it was black people, like 18 to 29, 18 to 30, or something like that. Confidence in the Supreme Court is lower than Trump's. It's like 26% or something like that. A small, I mean, not a small demographic, but a very specific demographic, which is under attack by the U.S. government, well, Republicans and U.S. government, and I think it does show a people's overall confidence in our government's check and balances. It does show that all three branches of government, nobody feels like they're doing anything for the people, and we need to change that.
Guarantee the blue states will be damn near utopias, and you guys will be fucking miserable. But I don't know how we continue with this. Like, they're saying it's stolen because a Republican didn't win in fucking Los Angeles in a blue wave year.
But I think everybody knows instinctively something is wrong here. And that's a concern. We need people to believe in the integrity of our election system. It is critical to maintain a constitutional republic. We're going to keep working to pass the Save America Act because it requires, as you know, proof of citizenship.
And you know what? Like you just heard me say, like, I don't think we need all Republicans to vote. I don't think we need all conservatives to vote. I think if you're still supporting Trump, or if you're regretting your vote for supporting Trump, like, just don't stay home. Don't go outside. Yeah, that's fine. But this whole notion of, like, it's taking too long to count the votes. The vote shouldn't take this long to count. Bruh. LA is one of the most populous cities. They have a huge voter turnout. That should be a triumph for democracy. We should be modeling what gets people out to vote in LA, other places. Like, if truly we want people to be informed and involved in our politics, then we should be encouraging and getting as many people to vote. Republicans are like, no, more people to vote, less chances of we are to win. That's shitty. But back to my point is, once we have the people voting, let's make sure their votes count. Count their votes. Doesn't matter, 2 days, 3 days, whatever. I want an accurate count of everybody who is qualified to vote. Should get their vote counted, no matter how long it takes. Like, we might not even be here if Al Gore would have won, in which he might have won in Florida. Like, we might not even have a Trump president if we had actually counted all the votes in Florida. I remember that. I was like in middle school. Yeah, I think I was in middle school or high school. Yeah, middle school going into high school, and I was like, why are they just not counting the votes? Well, no. It's like, why aren't they just counting the votes? They have the count, and they see the mistake. Why aren't they just like, because of the thing? Just count the votes. Just count the motherfucking votes. What are we even doing here?
The Save America Act is an attempt to just steal elections for Republicans from now until forever. The Save America Act is an attempt to ban all mail-in voting. They don't want to count all the votes and have one person, one vote. They want to stop counting when they're up. That's what they want to do. They're actually mad that LA is counting all the votes. The California is counting all the votes.
And a photo ID to vote. Those are also 90% plus issues in public opinion, and 70% of...
So they want to mandate a photo ID in order to vote, but they also, under this legislation, don't automatically send out the photo ID. So in other words, let's put a bunch of hurdles in your way and roadblocks in your way, and a bunch of people will not go through those hurdles and go through those roadblocks, and therefore you're disenfranchising them even though they have the right to vote. You're turning it from a right into a permit, which stems from the word permission, which is the opposite of a right. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to destroy one person, one vote.
Democrats understand that's necessary. We have
Aren't
to
you all
create
just saying
free
that
and fair
because
elections.
you lost the election because the Republicans did not win in this way? This is
didn't
why
hear
you're
me say
hearing that?
I'm saying that every leader of all parties should demand election integrity. And if somebody is opposing that, you should look at their motives. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, a guy talking about election integrity when he supports Donald J. Trump, who tried to ruin election integrity, who every day goes out there and lies about elections, who currently has like 7 different irons on the fire with strategies to try to steal the 2026 midterms and the 2028 election. And by the way, shame on the media here, because only one person is asking questions and they're only semi-adversarial. What the fuck are we doing? Again, we can't fix this country. We can't coexist with these people unless they know their fucking role and shut their fucking mouth. What is this? What is this, bro? Again, one of the bluest cities in the country voted for a Democrat during a blue wave year, and they're going, it's rigged. What's going on here? Yeah, bro, I hate to tell you, the Spencer Pratt thing was all dumbass media hype. He never had a shot. He never had a snowball's chance in hell. And anybody with a functioning brain could have told you that. But no, instead, here we are. They're crying foul again. So you think they're going to hold the L in 2026? You think they're going to hold the L in 2028? Boy, you got another thing coming. So I would check out Democracy Docket and Mark Elias because we need to have a strategy in place for when they try to steal that bitch, because they 100%, without a doubt, are going to try to steal that bitch, and anybody who tells you otherwise is completely and utterly full of shit. And let's remember, they seized ballots in Georgia and Arizona as a dry run for trying to steal the election. Trump did an executive order trying to turn voting machines over to Doge. He tried to ban mail-in voting not only through the Save America Act, but also through an executive order. They're also stealing voter roll data and doing ballot purging all across the country. They're trying to force states to turn over all the voter roll data, and they're just purging it of people they don't want voting, okay? There's already been threats to send ICE or the National Guard or to seize the ballots on Election Day. And we know he's blamed Iran, saying they interfered in the 2020 election. He said China interfered in the election. He said Maduro interfered in the election. He's trying to get Maduro right now to say, oh yeah, I stole it for Joe Biden. Literally, that's what he's working on. And then he's, oh, I'll go lighter on you, Maduro, and we'll let you go if you just say that you stole it for Biden, right? Like, this is what's going on right now. And they have the nerve to talk about election integrity. You motherfuckers are the ones who are destroying election integrity, and all of you know it. They're so vile. Like I keep telling you guys, this modern iteration of the Republican Party is not a political party. It is a death cult. That's what it is. As Trump goes, they go. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about checks and balances. They don't care about rules. They don't care about laws. They don't care about consistency. They are a complete and utter joke of a party, and everybody with a functioning brain knows it. And that's why they keep going out there and humiliating themselves over and over and over, and they never readjust course. Because you can only do that when you only give a shit about the other people inside the cult, when nothing can permeate that bubble. That's where they're at.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when video.
So I don't know how many of you guys have been following what's going on with the World Cup. Obviously, it's starting tomorrow or the day after. It's starting very soon, okay? And
It's already started, but there's already been drama. And the FIFA CEO, whatever his fucking another bald-headed fucker, he defended these draconian and barbaric, fucking embarrassing policies that have hurt teams, hurt fans, hurt the USA's reputation around the world, from around the world.
It's a mess. It is so chaotic. They failed at every level hosting this thing in the United States. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating for the entire country. So here's Ben of Midas Touch laying this out for us. The title is Trump instantly ruins World Cup as teams arrive. Listen to this. Here we go.
Donald Trump is destroying the FIFA World Cup before it even begins. We're now learning that the Trump regime has banned a Somalian referee, someone who's known as the top referee in Africa, simply because this referee was from Somalia. Donald Trump and his regime continue continue to treat the teams that are traveling to the United States for the World Cup horribly. The Senegal team that arrived was treated awfully with security, basically giving them cavity searches. The Uzbekistan team was treated horribly. The Trump regime has basically banned major groups of foreign reporters, and when foreign reporters are allowed in, they're given a visa that basically doesn't let them travel to Canada or Mexico and then come back to the United States, and the games are in Canada, Mexico, and the United States. This is turning into a massive disaster, and it's in stark contrast to what we're seeing in Mexico, where they've got mariachi bands that are greeting teams that are arriving in Mexico, and they're getting a hero's welcome in Mexico while the Trump regime is treating them horribly. And now we've also learned that ICE and Border Patrol will be ramping up their efforts and attacks, I should really be calling them, outside of these stadiums for the World Cup. And the Customs and Border Patrol are going to be engaging in even more vile tactics when people are arriving from foreign countries. We're learning about fans who are unable to...
And this is really sad. Not just for the image of the United States, but for what the World Cup means, or something the World Cup does for everyone, even if you're not a soccer fan. And that's me. I'm not a soccer fan. I've been to some soccer games. I've been to Copa de America, the America's championship league, whatever. I've done an event like that. It's electric. It's fun. I've been to minor league matches of soccer. They're fun and stuff. It's just not my cup of tea. Hey. But the World Cup, I wasn't even planning on watching anything, but the shit started coming on my Twitter. I'm just like, oh shit, it's lit. In Mexico, it's lit. In Mexico, I'm seeing beautiful things. In Mexico, I'm seeing Mexican culture and Korean culture come together, and they're just all having a good time. It's like, hey, it's not that serious. We're just here experiencing your culture, giving you a little bit of our culture, eating some tacos, eating some Korean fried chicken, like going to the game, drinking tequila together, dancing together, taking photos together, hugging each other, experiencing the country and the town together. Like, that shit is so beautiful. That shit is what we should be focusing on. That interculture, and they're immigrants, fucking Korean immigrants, coming to the Mexico, and they're like, hey, vale. Like, it's so hyped and so beautiful. What? Let's go to my Twitter. I think it's on horny Twitter though, because the women too are just so beautiful. Hold on. The women too are so beautiful. Okay. Look at this, bro. This is what we should be doing in the U.S. This is after Mexico won their match 2-1 or 2-2. Look at this Japanese man in Mexico. Doesn't speak a lick of Spanish. Doesn't speak any Spanish. Like, ¿Dónde estás el baño? Is what he can get. Or you habla inglés? That's how much Spanish he speaks. He's just like in the street. Pikachu. They're calling him Pikachu. He's like, fuck yeah. I have an Asian friend. We call him Pikachu. He loves that shit, okay? Like, this is them in Mexico. Look at this culture exchange right here. This is what I'm talking about. Beso, beso, beso. Eee, woo! Okay, and that's probably my favorite part of the football thing, because I'm stupid like that, because I'm dumb like that. I'm not really about the soccer. I'll pick the colors that I like the most. No, see, orale. Yeah. Eso. Muy bien. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the beautiful women and the besos. Like, yes, this is that cultural exchange. This is why I love immigrants. This is why I love people from all different countries. Like, oh, it's beautiful. They're having lucha uh, matches in the streets. Okay, no, that's not safe. Don't do that. Okay, I don't approve of that. They're throwing Koreans in the air. Like, this is what. Poly market. I don't want to bump up the. Beso, beso. Hey! Vale, vale, vale. Oh, yeah, now you're Mexican now, bro. You're Mexican now. Look at this. Doing fucking keg stands with tequila shots. Throwing people in the air, bro. Playing Gangnam Style every time they see a Korean. Calling Koreans BTS. No, actually, I think BTS was at the match. Look at this pendejo. And then we had this ICE agent walking into the building wearing a Mexico's jersey. He's like, bro, traidoro. Like, take that fucking jersey off. You're so disrespectful. Working for ICE and then deporting these people. Look at these South Koreans can't take the tequila bottle into the stadium, so they're handing out free shots with other people. Like this, like, why? This is 2026. This is 2026. We can have a full-on conversation with somebody with that doesn't speak the same language as us, with Google Translate. Our oil and gas depends on countries that are thousands of miles away. Our farmers depend on countries to buy their food, their produce, thousands of miles away. We need technology from all around the world to keep our lives the way that we like them and to progress. We need all of that. But this government, this administration, and Republicans, they are actively hurting all of those capabilities. Like, I'm surprised they sold out the LA, but it was the first match, USA Paraguay, like opening weekend of the World Cup. Yeah, we'll see how the other ones are, for sure, because like these stories aren't gonna stop. Like, fans are getting their visas rejected, referees are getting sent. That was the whole Somalia thing. It's just racist. It's just racist as fuck. But yeah, this is where we're at.
Arrive here to the United States.
That's what's happening in the U.S. We're rejecting referees. We're rejecting fans' visas. We're treating players and staff of the World Cup teams like they're smugglers, while Mexico is doing this. Mexico. Yeah, look. Okay, this is a good one. Wow. Top is Mexico welcoming players. These are the world class. The best in their country. The best from their country. Top tier players from around the world. People have jerseys with their names on them. Okay? This is how Mexico is treating them on the top, and then this is how the U.S. treats these people. I'm so embarrassed. Like, I don't even want to play it. I don't even want to play it. I'm so embarrassed. He's like, really? He's like, really? Like, I came here to metal. He's doing a metal detector. Why? If they were looking for drugs, that'd be one thing. But he's doing a metal detector check. And instead, fucking Mexico has mariachis. Mexico has fucking mariachis welcoming the players and staff. And the United States has security and metal detectors. Okay. Did they make them give up all their bags to get searched? And in Mexico, they're giving them sombreros? Bro. This is fucking crazy. It's like, are we expecting an invasion? Is China or Russia? Russia is already in control of the White House. Russia and Israel are have their fingers all up in the White House. But do we think China's gonna do a sneak attack? Like what could be the logical explanation for treating FIFA staff, World Cup staff, top tier soccer players from around the world like smugglers or terrorists? Like, why? Who felt the need that the extra security measures, the heightened security, the 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 need to be as thorough as fuck landed on those three categories?
There are multiple countries where the United States is outright just banning countries' fans from showing up. And then where there are countries that are allowed to have their fans show up, they are being blocked significantly.
Iran is not allowed. Iran's team and staff are not allowed to stay in the United States. They only can play the games in the U.S. They have to stay in Mexico or Canada and then train in Mexico or Canada and then travel to their games. And I think the night of their games or whatever, be out of the U.S. It's fucking embarrassing, bro. Like, such a damper on what should be. I would be having so much fun. They did a watch party at Zilker at Auditorium Shores. It was for USA, and if I was going for the USA, I would have been so down. It looked like a really good time. Just set up a picnic. They have a big screen. Everybody can watch and hear the game. Like, it looked like a really beautiful time. But I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go support a team of a country that's embarrassing me every day, but not just embarrassing me, killing people in other countries every single day, causing a global oil crisis that hurts regular people like myself and my family. Like, why would I go be supportive of that? That's against a lot of things I stand for.
In the visa process, I mean, on average, a 40 to 50% denial rate of visas from a list of countries that have a lot of that have teams playing in this World Cup. Let's just go through the data piece by piece. And I mean, look, you have also New York City Mayor Mamdani and New York Governor Hochul, one of the host sites of the World Cup.
Was I muted?
Calling out the Trump regime.
Was I muted again? Fuck.
Immigration.
Fuck me. Was I muted again? That so suck. That's sad. But yeah, what I was saying, Zilker had a viewing show, but it was for USA Paraguay, and I would have gone if I was supporting the USA, but I can't support the USA right now because they're embarrassing me every day. They're killing people in other countries. They're supporting countries that are killing people in other countries. They're causing a global gas and oil prices that hurt everyday Americans like me and my family and friends.
Migration, harassment right now. It's like the worst fears are coming true, but this is what we predicted. And a lot of people said, not for the World Cup. It would be different. Donald Trump knows the whole world is looking at what's happening here. Maybe he'll realize this is a sporting event and he won't try to destroy it. No, Donald Trump is going to try to destroy it. He is a destroyer. That's what he does. Let's go through the receipts right here. I think Dropsite does a good summary. The World Cup is here, but not everyone is welcome. As the FIFA World Cup gets underway on U.S. soil, a pattern of visa denials and border incidents is casting a massive dark shadow on the tournament. For example, the Iraqi team, their striker Ayman Hussein was held for nearly 7 hours at Chicago's O'Hare Airport.
Oh my God, man. They are the absolute worst of this country. That's what this regime is. They are the worst of this country. And by the way, everybody predicted this would happen. When you look at ICE and what they're doing mass kidnappings and abductions and human trafficking, and there's no due process. And over thousands of people are missing, and at least 40 people died in their custody, and they're doing slavery at their detention camps, which are really concentration camps, and you have criminals joining ICE, and they're assaulting grandmas and shooting priests in the face with tear gas and tear gassing babies and running over people with cars. And you look at this, you look at what they're doing, and you go, there's no way that a country that's running this fascist immigration regime is gonna, suddenly be, all humanitarian and welcoming when the World Cup happens here and people from around the world want to travel here to watch their teams? Not a chance, bro. Not a chance. And then never mind the fucking prices being sky high. The whole thing is so corrupt. I mean, remember, it was the head of FIFA who gave Trump this made-up FIFA Peace Prize 7 seconds before he started carpet bombing little girls in Iran. Okay? This whole thing is a joke. This whole thing is a scam. This whole thing is a joke. And now here we are, and I feel so horrible for all these people coming into my country and being treated like absolute shit, being treated like garbage.
Simply for no reason.
Brown, right? That's what it is. That's all it is. They're brown. And by the way, nobody can deny that this is a racist government. The official stated policy of this government is racism. Who was it? Mehdi Hassan said the other day, I forget the exact number, so forgive me on that, but there's been maybe 3,000 or 6,000 or
6,800, 6,300 refugees. Refugees is its own category of immigrants allowed into this country, down from 122,000 that we normally let in because of the wars and the bombings we do in other countries. Have been let in, and 6,000 of them have been white South Africans.
so. refugees who came in this country. Like 99% of them are white South Africans. What does that tell you? When the refugee program goes, no black people, no brown people, only white South Africans with fucking beer bellies. Okay, what does that tell you? It is white nationalism to a T. That's what it is. And that's exactly what this reaction is to the World Cup as well. Let's keep going.
The team's photographer was denied entry outright over what U.S. Customs and Border Protection described as, quote, vetting concerns, with no further details provided. Iraq is making its first World Cup appearance in 40 years, and that's how the U.S. is treating them. Morocco, at least 90 fans from 2 major supporters groups were denied U.S. visas ahead of the tournament, most under a clause citing doubts about their intention to return home, despite documented travel histories to Russia, 2018 Qatar, 2022, and the Paris Olympics. Some have lost tens of thousands of their currency in non-refundable bookings. We're seeing the same with Iraqi fans as well. Lots of Middle East fans are being denied after they've tried to go to this embassy and that embassy. And the issue is you have to buy these tickets, and then it's very possible and increasingly probable your visas will be denied. And if you think, well, let me try to work with Turkey, or let me try to work with this embassy, maybe there's a way in. Nope, not with the Trump regime. I mean, look, if a FIFA appointed award-winning referee isn't allowed in simply because he's from Somalia, that shows you the extent to which the Trump regime is interposing their very racist policies and their just despicable way they treat the Somalian community.
It's blatant racism, and to think that that man has a problem. Qualifications for FIFA referee, or requirements of a FIFA referee. Becoming a FIFA referee requires a 10 to 15 year progression, so they have at least a 10 to 15 year history on this guy. Mandatory background checks and safety courses. Has to be between 25 and 45 years old. Officiated high domestic professional level games. Has to pass a fitness test. Pass annual medical exams and demonstrate pristine disciplinary records. Display expert knowledge and possess a solid working knowledge of English. He speaks English. Okay, I thought they had to speak more than one language. Well, they do speak more than one language. But yeah, I just thought they had to be like trilingual and stuff. Like this man has been vetted by FIFA, has worked for FIFA, has a 10 to 15 years experience, where he's been tested and watched the whole time, yet he doesn't pass our standards, our qualifications, because he's from Somalia? Nah, that doesn't pass the sniff test on itself. I mean, when they do something like this, back in the day, this was like what the mob would do to rig a game. Okay, this is definitely like in a movie, yeah. I mean, the mob was involved with rigging games, but that was really never caught. Was that? Did they catch that guy? Ref, NBA ref. Rigged games. The biggest documented is a 2000. Oh yeah, okay. So, who pleaded guilty to federal charges for betting on the games he officiated and passing insider information to gamblers to influence point spreads. I think there was a little bit of the mob thing behind it, but not as much.
Here for a sporting event. I mean, this is unfathomable, but I guess nothing is when it comes to the disgusting Trump regime. So the FIFA-appointed referee Omar Artan was denied entry to the U.S. and immediately sent back upon arriving. I mean, he showed up in Miami. He got here with the help of the local embassies. He went to an embassy in Nairobi, which helped him, then stopped in Turkey, and then came here to Miami. And then he was like, nope, you're going back, sir. You're from Somalia. And here in the United States, Trump don't like Somalians, so you go back. Seriously, that's what went down because the guy the Somalian. Trump kicked him out. Artan is known as like the best referee in all of Africa. A world-class World Cup referee told to leave the country. And just take a look right here, as I noted before. This is how play the B-roll, guys. The Senegalese delegation gets this treatment upon the arrival to the U.S. Full tarmac searches, cavity searches, shoes off,
What
bags
the
inside.
fuck?
They're treated like criminals. The Uzbeki team right here, when they arrive, take a look right here. You have security searching all of their bags. You know, they showed up and they thought, well, you know, how are we thought, you know, look, when you show up usually in the host country does things like, if you're in Uzbekistan, something culturally celebratory the team is greeted with usually, right? Or if the Senegalese team arrives, something that shows a warm U.S. welcome. And instead you get body searches, you get put in isolation and get cross-examined.
You know what the craziest part is? This is a criminal regime, right? Like, Trump, he basically has a crime.
Every accusation is an admission by this.
I'm family at this point. It's nothing but a fucking cartel. It's a criminal.
Right? Yeah. Like their crime family, Ivanka Trump, tried to invade and take over an island in Albania, and they started rioting. And Albania's like, you didn't discover that island. You're not fucking Columbus here. I've been to that island 60 times. Everybody goes to that island. That's Albanians' island. That's our fucking island. You're not taking it from us, bitch.
Syndicate that's running this country. This is a mobocracy. Trump is, and by the way, he's already a convicted felon. We know that. 34-time convicted felon. He was charged with 91 crimes. He's a war criminal. He's a pedophile. He's a rapist. He's a con man. He's a fascist. Every negative thing in the books, right? And it's the criminals who are also protecting the child sex trafficking cabal of billionaire elites. They're treating soccer players like they're the criminals. Not a single Epstein criminal has been arrested, but you're gonna treat arriving soccer teams for the World Cup like they're criminals? What this country has become is like just flat out unrecognizable. There's no basic decency or common sense anymore.
No, what we have become is literally like the cartoonish Americans that the world makes fun of. Like every like terrible stereotypical joke about Americans and American society, we've become idiocracy. We are living a Veep episode, you know, like a dark HBO, like a Dark Mirror, Black Mirror Veep episode. That's what we're living right now. I really hope in November we can change our stars. We can get some checks and balances in place. We can take away some power from Trump and the Republican regime. That's my positivity coming out. That's my trust in the system. That's my follow the rules. Just be patient, wait your turn type of mentality. No need to get crazy and angry. But in reality, like, that's my movie mentality. That's like, yay, happy ending mentality. But we are definitely not in a movie happy ending right now. We are definitely living in a timeline where it does seem like the rich and powerful are always going to win. That does seem more likely, and if that is the case, then like what's going to happen, what's happening right now with the LA race, with them denying that, oh, you know, it was rigged, they're cheating, blah, 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 yada, 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 is they're going to do that for the midterms. But instead of kind of like well, it's going to be January 6th times 10. It's instead of him using his supporters to stop election results, or to throw the certifications into limbo, or stop them. Um, he is going to use our government, our military, to interfere, to stop the counts, to take over, and just not accept votes to give Democrats the Senate and the House. That's what I predict is going to happen. And I think that will be the tipping point for the less the well, it'll be the tipping point to showing that, like, one, he's gonna do whatever he can to stay into power, and two, for the people, it's like, okay, like, no, like, you can't just say, okay, well, oh, he's gonna leave in 2 more years, so, stop your bitching and moaning, like, stop your protesting, like, we're almost done with it. It's like, no, like, this, like, Steve Bannon came out last week and said it again. He's like, yeah, I'm guaranteeing Trump's running in 2028. And they're like, he's term limited out. He's like, yeah, we're working on that. It's like, no, see, like, he still has that 27% that are like, no, Trump is God. Trump is Jesus reincarnated. Like, we just follow Trump. Trump is going to lead us to the motherland. Like, he's taking away my health care. He's taking away my WIC, my SNAP. I can't afford diapers, but Trump is the way. Thank you, Jesus. Like, those people, he's clinging on to those people, and he's like, all right, I'm going to use them. I'm going to use the military, and I'm going to use the media to stay in power. Then I expect a lot more help out here. I definitely want to see more people, and I am definitely open to different ways to protest and show our displeasure to a tyrannical government.
Our government looks through your phones and your social media habits. These are World Cup teams and fans that are showing up here. So if you want to see the contrast, though, to what's going on in Mexico, take a look right here. You got South Korean fans enjoying the Mexican culture in Jalisco right there. We can play the B-roll right there. And I'm going to show you this video right here. So I just showed you what was going on in the United States, right? Take a look right here as Mexico is greeting the teams. This is how Mexico greets teams. This is how you should be greeted. This is what's supposed to go down. Here, let's play this clip right here. Here's how the BBC is reporting on all of this as well. A World Cup for them, not us. Fans anger at U.S. travel bans and visa restrictions. They tell the story at the outset of this article of a Iraq football fan, Abdullah Adnan, who bought tickets to see his country matches. As noted, it's the first time they've been in the World Cup in like forever. To go to the match, to go to the stadium cheering, to root on our Iraqi national team is the most important thing. It's so incredible. He traveled to neighboring Jordan to try to get a visa. He traveled to Turkey to get the visa. And ultimately, he was told, sorry, you're not going to be able to go to the United States. Then look, then don't host the damn thing. If this is how you're going to treat the people who arrive, don't host the damn thing.
I totally agree. Yeah, if this is how you're going to treat the world, if this is how you're going to throw your...
Now look, I will be devil's advocate, okay? We do already have, like, when you fill out a visa application, they ask you some questions, okay? They ask you questions like, have you ever been part of a gang? Have you ever been part of a... Have you ever tried to take over the government? Have you ever immigrated illegally? Have you ever been convicted of, like, murder, rape, or a violent crime, other violent crimes? Have you ever been convicted of drug trafficking? Have you ever been convicted of any type of drug drug offense. Like, those are fair questions, okay, on any visa application. Like me, I don't think I can travel to Canada. I don't think I can travel to Australia either, Australia or Japan, because I have a DUI and I have a drug uh, uh, conviction. It's probably expunged now, or not expunged, but it probably wouldn't come up on. It doesn't come up on background checks anymore. I don't really. I probably could, but if they ask me that question, like if I get that question on a job application, like have you ever been convicted of a felony, I mark yes. Okay, so if people are marking yes to those types of things, to those types of crimes, okay, then their visa application obviously be denied. Fair enough, fair enough. More, and the evidence is obvious. I mean, the guy from Somalia, the referee, clean whiskey. For the last 15 years, they have all of his documents. They have his medical history, okay? And what's the this guy from Iraq, okay? Iraq is a very strict place, okay? Very conservative Muslims, okay? For him to have a record is highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. And I'm sure the paper who did the story did the background is like, or did at least a background check, and he's like, yeah, nothing comes up. You can get a background check within like a day, so they can just quick search to see if he's had any felonies. Like, yeah, okay, he's never been arrested. Why would he be denied entry?
Middle fingers up to the world, then don't fucking host it. It's literally the World Cup. Like, what do you just want Americans going to the fucking games? And by the way, they probably do. They probably only want fucking Epstein billionaires going to the games too, because when you look at the ticket prices, that's all who could fucking afford it.
Take a look at countries that have...
Except for New York, because Mary Mamdani worked out some sort of deal to have tickets available for New Yorkers at a cheaper price. Not that many, but still, hey, that's more than most states did for that were hosting. And so it's so like embarrassing, and made the other states like, okay, well then we'll just open up criminal investigations into FIFA for ticket price gouging.
Have a U.S. visa rejection rate of over 40%. Senegal, Ghana, Congo, Iran, Jordan, Cape Verde, Uzbekistan, Algeria, Haiti, Egypt, and Ecuador. And that's in addition, I might add,
what do those countries have in common?
to countries that have outright bans. So if you're from Haiti, Iran, Ivory Coast, Senegal, you're not allowed to even show up. Fully.
What? These are all the countries that they have a 40% rejection rate? What? I don't even know what Camp Verde is. What do we have against Camp Verde? Let's see. Camp Verde country. It's an island. What do we have against this island? What's going on? It's an African island. That's what the problem is. It's an African island. I could understand if it was Sudan, where there's a genocide. And I could understand if it was Israel, where they're committing genocide. I could understand if it was Russia, and if Kazakhstan was helping, or Uzbekistan. Let's see, where's Uzbekistan? Uzbekistan. Where's this? I don't think Uzbekistan is helping Russia, okay? I could understand that. Haiti is in some turmoil too. I don't know. 40% for a World Cup visa? Nah, bro. That's insane. That's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 countries have a 40% visa denial rate for the World Cup. Um, that's money out of U.S. people's pockets. That's money out of their pockets. Money out of FIFA's pockets. And that is, um, it's a bad look for our country, just on a global scale. And it shows off the racism. It really does show off the racism. Racism is back. Okay, racism is back, and it's been fueled. It's been given fuel by this administration. His dog whistle, low IQ people, Somali people are their country is devastated or destroyed. They're eating the cats and the dogs. There's an invasion of 100 million immigrants. Like all this, denying 40% of visa applications for the World Cup from brown and black uh, countries. Allowing 6,300 refugees, and 6,000 of those refugees are from white South Africa that is having no fucking refugee crisis. Denying Palestinian refugees, sending back Afghanistani refugees who helped the U.S. Military when we were invading their country. Like, oh my Jesus. Lord, please forgive us. Like, and if you don't, I totally understand. Like, this is some very diabolical shit. Just some villain-esque shit. Like, we are part of the Axis powers, bro. We're over here imposing our imperial will on the country or on the globe while being a isolationist policy, immigration policies. Wow, we're supposed to be hosting the World Cup, where 36 countries. Oh, that's what I was saying. 36 countries are in this tournament, and 11 of those countries' fans have a 40% visa denial rate.
Ecuador, and
So a little bit over a third of the countries that are playing in this tournament, their fans, like half their fans are being denied entry.
that's in addition, I might add,
What do those countries have in common?
to countries that have outright bans. So if you're from Haiti, Iran, Ivory Coast, Senegal, you're not allowed to even show up. Fully banned right there.
Oh.
Also, as it relates to the Iranian football team, the United States is refusing to allow the Iranian football team to actually stay in the United States. Despite the Iranian football team having 3 games in the United States, they're forced to stay in Mexico, and then they're allowed into the United States just for their game, and they have to immediately leave. A lot of these right-wing neocon groups that are working with Rubio are saying that the Iranian football team, get this, is part of a weapon of mass distraction, nuclear threat against the United States.
I genuinely fear for this team's safety, for the simple reason that I do not put it by Trump to just kidnap them as soon as they come into the country and try to use them as a bargaining chip to open the Strait of Hormuz. I'm not even kidding. Like, I genuinely fear for the safety of this team.
Being sent here as stealth nuclear weapons.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I definitely see what he's saying. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I don't think the U.S. The U.S. people, have any problem with the Iranian team. If anything, we would be very humble and kind to them. That's the America again. I've been watching a lot of feel good stuff. Um, and my birthday, so I'm very optimistic about my birthday. Another year around the sun, another uh, year progressing towards my goals. A beautiful year in Austin ahead of me. Good job, good friends, good family. Like all that stuff is looking up for me. So I have that positive view. But then in reality, there was in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, some fans were holding up a sign in Arabic or in a foreign language, okay? Because they were there to either greet their team, national team, watch their team, or something like that along the line. Okay, big group of people, 20, 30 people holding up a big sign. Uh, and for some reason, a white man in the Dallas airport was like, fuck these foreigners. Walked, as they're taking a picture holding their sign, walked through the group, grabbed their sign, and tried to destroy it. I think definitely ripped it. I think he did rip it up. Can't remember if he ripped it up or destroyed it, um, or tried to destroy and wasn't able to. But yeah, that's reality in the U.S. Um, so I think I'm depending on what state they were in, and I think they have to be in the best state probably for them would be California, to stay in. But if they were in like Texas or Missouri or something like that, I just saw a story. I don't know if it's real or not. We'll see. Um, that the UK's team equipment was stolen from a van, and I think that was in Missouri. Let's see. England national team equipment stolen. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, Kansas City. All right. Transit from Florida. Red state to red state. Red state to red state. What do you fucking know? That makes us look great. That looks wonderful for us. I think it sounds like they arrested them and got their equipment back. So that's good that they were quick on it and they didn't have to, you know, imagine them like having to use. Imagine them not having like their jerseys. That would have been so embarrassing, so embarrassing. Or like not having cleats. Oh my God. But even still, it's like okay, in from Florida to Kansas City, in our country, supposedly red states are supposed to be safer, yet the English team's van got stolen with their equipment. Okay, yep, that's what we're bringing to the World Cup. And so yeah, if Iran's team was down there, they would not be safe. California, I think they would be safe. They would be honored. Arizona, mixed bag. Arizona has a huge Hispanic population, so I think they would be protective of Iran, his team. But yeah, he is right. Probably it probably they're more welcome in Mexico. Okay, so that's probably the better place for them right now. I wish it weren't that way though. I really wish it weren't. I wish we were a welcoming country that has this huge influx of people from different countries and cultures just here to experience a uh, a global event together and exchange cultures and um, create lifelong memories with each other over watching some guys kick a ball around the grass like that. I think that's fucking beautiful. I think that is so beautiful, and we're fumbling this moment so badly. Maybe we can pick it up. Maybe we'll see some more good things come out of the U.S. Um, but it's not looking that great.
Weapons. That's what Marco Rubio is doing. Oh, by the way, Marco Rubio on Thursday is executing a State Department order with the UFC, with Dana White, declaring UFC a major tool of U.S. diplomacy. That's what they're doing. The grift could not be griftier, and this right as the UFC has to show up for a major court hearing on Thursday, where DC groups want this White House UFC fight canceled for all of the likely ethical and legal violations, as well as is being argued by the plaintiffs in that case. So in addition to Iran not being able to stay overnight in the United States, Iranian managers and staff are not allowed to show up in the United States, and they are just being treated absolutely horribly. They're going to be staying in Tijuana. They're going to be staying in Mexico. We've heard from the Iranian embassy in Turkey says, look, you can't whitewash the conduct that violates FIFA regulations and breaches the United States host obligations. Why aren't you admitting that visas were denied to a large portion of the managerial and executive staff, the technical advisors, and others who are an integral part of the national team?
Of course, a country that doesn't even give a shit about international law and the ICJ and the ICC, they're not going to care about FIFA rules and regulations, and now that's being proven. Now that's being proven right in front of our eyes. They're getting away with whatever the fuck they want to get away with.
Because the U.S. Embassy in Turkey was like, look, we got the Iranian team visas. You see, look what we're doing to help sports. Like, look what we're doing. It's like, nah, that's not what you're doing. Anyway. This is what Mayor Mamdani posted. You don't need to drop thousands of dollars to watch the World Cup final, and you don't need to be a professional to play in the World Cup. You just need to head to Central Park. We're hosting a free World Cup final watch party on July 19th for 50,000 New Yorkers on the Great Lawn, and we're opening a mini FIFA arena next to the Tavern on the Green, complete with free clinics, tournaments, and open play. Wow. And then Mayor Mamdani said the following about the news, that the Trump regime has drawn up a plan to surge ICE into New York City during the World Cup.
Oh, no. By the way, somebody said on Twitter, I think this is because Trump got mass booed at Madison Square Garden that they decided, like, fuck it, let's send ICE into New York City. I'm not kidding. Somebody said that. I read that, and I was like, that kind of adds up. That's like some shit he would do.
That tracks. Vain guy like him. That totally tracks. But Mamdani? Not only is he actually making changes around the city that are good for the people, and getting their money to work for the people, not only is he doing that, not only is he making the cities I wouldn't even say that. Well, the byproduct of taking care of the people. This kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's like the trinity of why people commit crimes. He's taking out one of those triggers from the trinity that causes people to commit crime. He's taking out the need to commit crimes by giving people more services, by taking care of people's basic needs, by listening to them. He's taking away their need to do crime, and as a byproduct of that is crimes are at a historic low. Happy people don't commit crimes, or not happy people commit less crimes. Okay. But okay, not only is he doing that, he is also feeding that entertainment beast that we have. We want to be entertained. We want to go to live sporting events, live music events. We want to experience these once in a lifetime. Uh, uh, we want to make these once in a lifetime memories. And he's like, yes, I want to facilitate you being able to do that. So we're hosting watch parties. He's streaming. When the president went to Madison Square Garden on Monday, and they canceled the watch party outside Madison Square Garden. He broadcast the game on every screen that's connected to their live update channel. So literally all through the city you could watch it on a screen, and they had other watch parties in parks. They, for some reason, not for some reason, the owner of the Knicks wanted to get back at Mayor Mamdani for making Trump look bad. So he said for the next game that Mamdani canceled the watch party in front of Madison Square Garden. But in reality, Mamdani said, no, you applied for a permit for 1,000 people. We gave you a permit for 1,000 people, and we were supposed to be doing it. He's like, no, we're not going to do it at all. Okay? And so Mamdani had another watch party at a park. Okay? It's beautiful. It's awesome. And now he's meeting the moment and facilitating these fucking beautiful memories of different countries and cultures and New Yorkers. These beautiful memories that New Yorkers and people from different countries are creating, watching the FIFA World Cup, or even just drinking around these events and going to the free events. He put out a a map of where you can go and do free things in New York. So I didn't even think about that. Right before the World Cup, he created a map where you can go and experience New York and take photos or whatnot without spending money. Not even on transportation, because they have free buses now. Woo, man. See, that's good shit right there. Like, why can't we get behind that? What is bad about that? My friend Justin, I would say conservative, fiscally conservative, but not socially. Socially liberal, I guess. Yeah, that's what I would say. He was one of these naysayers about Mamdani. Like, oh, Mamdani's going to fuck it up. LA's destroyed, blah, blah, blah. Definitely one of those, because they spend too much money, whatever. I really want to talk to him about it, and I want to see, okay, Mamdani's been in there for a year, almost a year, something like that. Not even, a little bit over 100 days. Snow's getting plowed faster, potholes are getting filled faster. He's hosting watch parties for the people, putting the game on every screen that he can. hosting LGBTQ and pride events, balancing the budget, giving people the knowledge and free spaces that they can go enjoy New York without spending money, free buses, like, and the city is better for it. We haven't really seen any negative impacts of it. How can you say what do you think of it? Like, how, do you think this is bad for the country? We shouldn't be doing these things, or why? Is he blowing your expectations out the water? Like, I want to know how a naysayer feels about him, because me personally, I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I was hoping he did. I really got this vibe from him. He's a millennial. I think we're around the same age. He's might be a little bit younger than me. Um, Definitely, well, son of immigrants. Oh no, he's an immigrant himself. But yeah, immigrant family growing up in New York City. Um, Really the American dream, or the American story. Oh, y'all remember? What's it? French. No, not story. Movie about French mouse coming to America. An American Tale. People need to watch an American Tale. Okay, people definitely haven't watched this movie, and it shows. It's a tale about a French mouse and his family having to immigrate to New York, for socioeconomic reasons, and he gets separated from his family and has to has to become street smart to try and reunite with his family. Republicans never seen the an, an American Tale. And it shows. Five. That's immigrants. Make the USA better. Yep. Just a really beautiful example of what the promise of America and the success story of somebody who believed, or not, somebody and their family believing in that dream and coming to America and achieving that dream, despite all the hate that he gets. Oh my God, like I get hate. Like, I had to block some people on Twitter. Finally, it's been a while since I blocked people, but I was getting so harassed by them. And I will admit, I fought them for like 4 days. Okay, and they tried to make me look like gay, but what they did was make me look so fucking handsome. definitely look. They use AI to make me look gay, but um, do, 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 do. But the gay version of me was so fine. I was like, oh damn, like if I was gay and I look like that, I would fuck me too. Like I definitely get it. So once they realized that that wasn't working on me, they switched to making me look ugly. Whatever. And yeah, I've never been called ugly before, and my mom says I'm a very handsome man. So that was my. Oh, and they said a lot of other like really terrible things too. So I got tired of him the fourth day and blocked him. He gets death threats. He gets Islamophobia thrown at him, and then on top of that, like people making AI fakes of him and making him look like an Orthodox Muslim, trying to say that he's bringing Sharia law to the New York City. Of all the things he's done for New York City, I think the only thing that you could say is geared towards his faith is he did something with halal, making like halal um, easier or something like that. But anyways, um, yeah, hosting LGBTQ pride events, that's definitely not Sharia law. That's kind of the opposite of Sharia law. If anything, Christians are closer to enacting Sharia law than, or Sharia law esque laws than Memdani.
Do. Second he gets out of there, call Tom Homan. It's Tom. Go ahead, I'm greenlighting a surge of ice into New York City because he got booed and the whole world saw it and he was humiliated.
Soccer would not exist without immigrants, Mayor Mamdani said. Immigrants play and coach the game, work in the stadiums, fill the stands, and make celebrations like the World Cup possible. 6 of the players on the U.S. men's national team are immigrants. We will not allow ICE or anyone else to sow fear in our communities, especially at this moment. As the world comes to our city, we will stand proudly with our immigrant neighbors and reject these attacks for what they are, an attempt to divide us.
So look at the difference here. When Zoran shows up to a Knicks playoff game, they win. Right? That's what happened. When the first game he went to, they won. He was also sitting in the nosebleed.
Yeah. Instead of taking a free box seat, he bought a ticket in the nosebleeds and was with the people. Also, Trump went to the game. Knicks lost. Then Wu Tang performed at the next game. Wu Tang's forever. Wu Tang is for the people. And the Knicks won.
And respecting the fact that like sitting with real people, right? Trump gets the private box, shows up, immediately destroys the energy. Knicks lose. The guy is just a curse. He's an absolute curse. He fucked up the vibe. He fucked up the frequency and the wavelength that the Knicks were playing on. He destroyed the experience for all the fans who had to show up 2 hours early and they struggled to get into the fucking building and had all these restrictions. And allegedly, he may have even gone into the locker room, which if he did, that absolutely would fuck up the flow of the Knicks. And you have Zoran. What did he do? He set up some sort of program to get the only cheap tickets to go to the Knicks games, right? Like, the Knicks tickets right now are fucking preposterously expensive.
It's cheaper to get a flight to San Antonio and a ticket there than it is to just have a ticket in New York City.
But the New York City government got involved because of Zoran and got...
And the Knicks fans at the games were saying like, yeah, like it's definitely corporate feel. Like corporations bought these tickets because they're the only ones who can afford, two or four $10,000 tickets to go to this event, and that's what they felt in that crowd.
Some tickets.
And if Trump was going to a game, that'd be tough. If it was a Cardinals playoff game, I would write it out. I was there. All right, fuck him. I'm gonna boo him. I can't wait. But if it was another team that I'm not even, if it was Spurs versus Knicks right now, like I'd be like, nah, I'll sell the ticket.
I don't know the exact
Fuck it.
number, at a reasonable price. And he's doing the same thing for the World Cup. In other words, he is the polar opposite. He is the anti-Trump in every imaginable way. And that's why Zoran is beloved and Trump is despised.
And then for no reason at all, I'm just going to show you Donald Trump getting booed at Madison Square Garden last night. Let's play.
Look at the face. He knows. Him and his granddaughter know. And by the way, this one was muted. This one, they lowered the volume on it. When you look at the videos on social media from inside MSG, it was way louder. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. So, I said it. So many people said it. We never in a million years under this Trump regime should have had the World Cup here. And now you know exactly why that is. And my guess is we haven't even hit rock bottom yet. There's going to be so many more fuck-ups and so many more maddening things before this thing is over. And it's a real shame because something like the World Cup is special. And it's sort of being disrespected. And all these people who love it and want to participate in it are being disrespected, all because we have a fascist regime in this country.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for...
Alright. So we'll see how far we get into this. These are two of my favorite streamers getting together and talking about the left versus the right. Yeah, I think it's a very educational conversation. And it does lean towards what I'm feeling. It's just like there is no middle ground with these people. There is no we should respect the far right's opinion in this conversation. It's like, no, you are legitimately feeding into racism, feeding into misogyny, actively hurting people, hurting the economy, a global threat, and funding like genocide. No, I don't know what middle ground there is with those type of people, and I don't want to try to find a middle ground with those people. It's like, if those are your feelings, if you hate women so much and you want to take away their rights to vote, you don't want them to have body autonomy, like if you're okay with our military spending billions of dollars to bomb and massacre people on the other side of the world, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want you in my life. I don't think I want to be friendly with you. I don't think I need to be friendly with you. My mom taught me to be nice, but she didn't teach me to be nice to everybody. She was like, no, just be kind, be kind, be kind. But if a bitch needs to get fucking hit, then a bitch needs to get fucking hit, okay?
For the collaboration, ever since y'all saw me collab with my boy Kyle on his channel, we talked about some very interesting things. And so, Kyle, thank you for joining me today, brother.
Well, my pleasure. Happy to be here. Love your channel, as I told you when we talked on my channel. And yeah, for those who don't know, my name's Kyle. I host the Kyle Kalinske Show on Secular Talk. I host Crystal Kyle and Friends, and I'm basically like, political YouTube channel.
Definitely. One of the best doing it, man. So go ahead and check out Kyle's channel. Link down below. Today we are teaming up to react to this video that I've been wanting to react to for quite some time. It's an amazing video, very entertaining. Title of the video: Why the Far Right is Always Worse Than the Far Left.
The media likes to portray left and right extremism as being equally evil and dangerous. This is commonly referred to as horseshoe theory. If you follow both left or right-wing ideology to their extremes, they eventually become equivalent to one another.
Do you agree with that? I've seen that a lot, and I've even seen you mention the term in some of your videos. How do you feel about horseshoe theory?
So, to me, horseshoe theory is real. but it's overstated in terms of like the far right and the far left being equal. So when I think of horseshoe theory, I think of, for example, this YouTuber named Jimmy Dore, who in 2018, he spent all of his time saying he was on the left, but using all of his energy to beat up on AOC and Bernie Sanders from a left-wing perspective. And so it's this weird thing where he gives the Republicans a complete and total pass and only beats up on Democrats. And so functionally, he attracted a very right-wing audience, even though he was nominally on the left.
Right.
That's what I mean when I refer to horseshoe theory. There's a lot of people who like only criticize Democrats, only criticize the best Democratic options that we have, and functionally attract a right-wing audience. But in terms of the far right and the far left, I agree that they're, by no stretch of the imagination, are they equally bad. I would say that the people who engage in horseshoe theory, they're really just like hidden right-wingers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not actually on the left. They're just like sort of, it's like a mask they put on, but functionally they're right-wing.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
This is wrong for a variety of historical and ideological reasons. In today's video, we're going to take left-wing ideology and right-wing ideology, drag them out to their extremes in both personal characteristics and government policies, and show how right-wing extremism is morally worse and a much bigger threat. Let's first establish general left versus right values, starting with the left. The left is broadly progressive. The left believes in caring for all and uplifting the poor. They believe in limiting the power of moneyed interests and corporations, and most importantly, view politics through material conditions. This means how much money people have and their access to housing, food, healthcare, employment, and technology. These material conditions are seen as the biggest determiner in how a society functions. Violence, poverty, and general social dynamics are at their core influenced by material conditions above all else. The left believes in wealth redistribution and a strong central state that can provide infrastructure and meet the basic needs of all people. The left...
Why did he show a homeless encampment as left-wing values? Like, if we're extreme left, if my idea of the extreme left would be like, okay, every city over 1,000 or 2,000 people has to have a homeless shelter that matches their or homeless shelters or housing available for the homeless. Every night. It's like, okay, so if you have 7,000 homeless in a city of 100,000, then you should have a shelter that or shelters or old motels converted into shelters. That's what downtown Phoenix did. A lot of their motels and old San Carlos Hotel, famous hotel, they turned into Section 8 housing and put people, took people off the street and put them in those homes. I used to have a not a student, a man I went to community college with. He stayed in one of those hotels, and I used the San Carlos Hotel, San Felipe, San Carlos, in downtown Phoenix. I would take him home after class.
Believes in strong social safety nets and making sure that people in weaker positions.
And yeah, he didn't pay for it. Like he got food assistance, and he didn't pay for the room where he was staying with some family members. And I was like, that's okay. He's going to community college to make his life better. He wanted to get some certifications or some degrees regarding mental health, because he wanted to help other people with mental health diagnosis get housing and get food assistance, so they are off the street and they don't die on the street. Yeah, that I feel like, why is that a bad thing? Why do people think that our tax dollars shouldn't shouldn't be used for that. If we, the only argument I would have for that as a conservative is like, I want to pay less taxes. It's like, okay, if you want to pay less taxes, that's a fair, um, that's a fair argument there. But I feel like taking care of U.S. citizens, and if you don't like my friend Justin, he doesn't like the site. He doesn't like to look at homeless people. And I had one of my attorneys that I interviewed for. He was like, I was sick and tired of bitching about looking at homeless people and seeing them beg for money on the corners. So I started helping build shelters and building homes for these people.
Like the old, disabled, and minority groups, should be uplifted. They lastly value.
When-
Bro, go ahead.
When you think of the left, to me, one of the defining characteristics of the left is that we're striving to hit equality.
Yeah.
When you think of the right, they're the fundamental opposite of that. They believe in hierarchy.
Yeah.
So they believe like there should be a boss and there should be somebody underneath the boss. There should be somebody calling all the shots. People need to know their place in society. It's almost like they want like a caste system.
Right.
They want roles defined for people. And so, again, if you're militant in your belief in equality, the end result, the outcome is still going to be trying to strive for equality, which is a positive thing.
Right.
If you're militant in your belief in hierarchy, what you're going to do is ban people from climbing up that economic ladder and making a better life for themselves and try to like make it so the billionaires run society, make it so we're divided along gender lines or racial lines or religious lines. So
And that's his economic policy. He's like, oh, for all these people that are losing their jobs, for all these people on unemployment, for all these people that were kicking off of Medicare and cutting their SNAP and WIC for pregnant mothers and mothers of newborns, all those people, they're going to get jobs, and those jobs are going to be on the factory floor that we're building, supposedly building. They're going to be working in the factories. That's where they belong, is in the factories. Like, it's so fucking obvious how they have decided this is our moment. This is our time. We're going to make our move to put minorities back to where they want them. We have let them climb too high, and we don't like how it's colored our society. So we want to take out some of these colors.
I mean, again,
That's probably why they hate the rainbow. They're like, no, I just like white. I prefer white, and all the other colors is terrible.
the core theme of the video here, in my estimation, is totally correct, because the far right and the far left, like, one is actually striving for something that's noble, and the other one is not at all.
Right. Yeah. The way how I see it, I mean, all the things that Christian nationalists and conservatives who call themselves Christians, all the attributes that Jesus said that we are supposed to embody. That's literally what we hear about in terms of, leftist politics. It's about love. It is about, I'm saying, trying to reduce harm and hate.
Honestly, we actually give more to the government than what Jesus required of us. I think Jesus required like 10%, or told us to donate 10% to the church, so the church could help the poor and help the sick and help the widower and the divorcee and the hookers. Like, we give, I think, depending on your tax bracket, 10 to 16% of our wait, let's see. How much does average American pay in taxes percentage wise? We give 14.5%. We give more than Jesus told us to give to the church, to our government. If we were a Christian nation, if we were doing like Jesus wanted, that 10%, 14%, whatever, would be going to housing, to healthcare, and to education for every American citizen. Those would be the top three. The top two expenditures for the US right now is our interest in the loans, almost 40 trillion, and our military budget. And they want more money for the military budget. I think it's supposed to be like $1.1 trillion that we're going to spend on our military. Yeah, that's why my plan calls to cut it in half. Like, fuck it. Like, we have had a military renaissance for the past 30 years fighting complete lies and fighting for lies, for oil, and for money, and for vain men, just like the fucking wars of old, like the Greek wars and stuff like that. That's what we're using our money on, and it's disgusting.
Hatred and people just being dicks to one another. People, let's make sure that the poor have a place where. How about we move in a way to try and reduce poverty, right? How about we give resources to as many people as possible? That is leftist politics, and it's just crazy that the right, which is so synonymous with Christianity, is just completely opposed to that. It's insane. But hey, man, I feel like Jesus was a communist when you hear what he talked and what he preached about.
Nationalism and solidarity amongst the global working class. Now let's take a look at right-wing values. The right is conservative, praising tradition over progressive ways of thinking. The right typically opposes political and social reform. Being inherently opposed to progressivism and new ideas, the role they play is often an oppositional reaction to social and economic reforms proposed by the left, hence the term describing them reactionary. The right typically values past
pause it for a sec.
traditions.
Go ahead.
Like, it's true. They don't even really have a thing of their own. Their whole philosophy is just no. Like, if you say, let's do universal health care, let's do free college, let's have a living wage, let's do unions, let's have racial equality, you go down the line, they're reactionary in the sense that it's always no. Like, at the core of conservatism is this idea that, like, everything is good right now and let's not change anything.
Right.
And, like, that becomes absurd, especially as the more you go back in time and look at where we've been throughout human history. Like, how could you be looking at a feudal system and go like, oh yeah, this is good, like we're good, or like an anarcho-capitalist system where you got kids working in factories, and you go, no, we're good, we can keep it like this. It's just a fundamentally intellectually bankrupt ideology, in my opinion, that tries to say, like, we don't need any advancement, we don't need to actually make things better, we're good where we are right now.
Right. Yeah, definitely. If you take a look at all the things that are in place right now, most conservatives would say, like you said, let's just leave it exactly the way that it is. But progressives had to fight for it being the way that it is today. They're just the last of the party. You take a look at all of the conservative positions, or many of the conservative positions of the past, a lot of modern conservatives would be completely against it, right? For instance, putting a ban back on interracial marriage, right? Even something like trying to rescind the civil rights for gay people to get married. I would say most conservatives, they don't care about it. They definitely would support, like, if people actively were making progress in stripping those rights away from the LGBTQ community. That's their whole thing, is to just be against progress. And what blows my mind is how it is that there are poor conservatives, right? How do you have poor conservatives? How do you have poor people fighting to keep things the way that they are? Doesn't your life fucking suck? Right? Don't you want things to be more affordable? Why would you want to keep it the way that it is? Doesn't make any sense. But
more. I think more. My point is more the attitude of conservatives. And there's a video of this guy. He's like, I don't want their values forced upon me. They're forcing their ungodly ways on me. And he's like, how is Biden forcing you to be gay? Who's forcing you to be gay? Like, how is that a thing? He's like, hey, first of all, I'm not gay. He's like, okay, this is very closeted conversation, but nobody is forcing you to be gay. But we don't want you to force somebody not to be gay. We don't want people to hide who they are because of you. You want your personal space, so do they. So why can't these people? Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
If we tried to ban leaded gasoline today, like if it still existed and we tried to ban it.
Oh yeah, these people are just ass backwards. It's just like, oh, we need to protect our rights, so we need to take away your rights. It's like, no, if we just protect everybody's rights, your rights are are protected too. So all you have to do is just stay home and be bigoted, be racist, and be misogynist at home. We don't need you out with everybody else, though.
They would say no. They would
Right.
say no to that.
1,000%.
Because I remember they released a study recently that said, like, gas stoves in houses, they said it increases, like, cancer risk a certain amount and certain illnesses a certain amount. And their reaction to that was just to be like, nah, that's not true. And now I'm going to get, like, another gas stove. And it's like, to the point where you're just arguing against science, like, you have a problem. When you look at clean water rules and clean air rules, you have Trump rolling those back, and they're like,
Oh,
yeah,
I
we
know what
like
I was
that
getting
better.
at. Yeah, it was like, you can be stuck in your ways at home. You can be stuck in your ways at home. That's fine. We're not trying to force you into changing those ways, but we are trying to force the world into a better world where you have clean water, where you have non-carcinogenic appliances, where you have lower bills. And Trump is doing the complete opposite. He's affecting your life where you have higher bills, more carcinogens in the water, and the air is literally getting worse. Like, he is actively, again, as a conservative, you want small government. The government shouldn't be this involved in everybody's lives. The government is this involved in everybody's lives.
It's almost like they're always trying to make things more primitive, more simplistic, more primitive, less complex, but more stupid.
Yeah.
You, like, just end up hurting everybody in the process.
The elites have they have mastered the art of getting poor white people, poor just Americans in general, to think they're on the same team. It's bizarre. It's insane.
Usually wants to return to a time in the past where the society supposedly had better values and was more prosperous. The right believes in natural hierarchies. There are always winners and losers. And
The imagery this guy had is like way wild. Like, he had Malcolm X and Fidel Castro from Cuba back in the day, to like, well, like a dictator and a communist, and then like a former communist turned devout Muslim. Like, wow, 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 wow. And now he has like strong men holding American flags. Mike Johnson with Bibi Netanyahu. Like,
and
what
human
is
conditions
this?
do not overcome these natural ways of living.
Right,
Hard
like you
work and
said.
morality are the biggest determiners in your place in society. Right-wingers believe that the conditions of society, like poverty, social dynamics, and crime, are not the result of people's material conditions. Poverty and crime are a reflection of personal and moral failure.
But that only applies to black people. That only applies to people of color. I've said this so many times, right? When you're struggling as a white conservative, it's the government's fault, right? Some politician somewhere is fucking up. If anybody else of any other group, though, if they are like, hey, we need some changes to help us out, all of a sudden, oh no, you need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Well, how many of these Republicans come from families that get a whole millions and millions of dollars in farm subsidies.
Right.
But then they turn around and they bash people who are on the SNAP program, the food stamp program,
Right.
that take like way less money in government money just to make sure the kids could eat.
Yeah.
And that shows the mindset right there. It's also crazy that it's just a myth to say that under this capitalist system, the harder you work, the further you go. Because that's like the core of the right-wing philosophy is like, just work hard, you'll make it. And it's like, I've known people who work 3 jobs and still live at the poverty line or below the poverty line. Meanwhile, everybody knows there's billionaires who make all their money from what's called passive income. Namely, they invest in the marketplace and then they go sit on a beach somewhere and sip a mojito.
Or their dad owned a emerald mine in South Africa and use the apartheid laws but down there to take advantage of South African natives to to create their wealth, and then gave it to his son, and he bought some companies and became the first trillionaire. Like, come on, man.
And then they make millions and millions and millions or billions of dollars from doing nothing.
Right.
And so, like, it's just fundamentally backwards, man. Like, if anything, the billionaires are the parasites, and working people always end up getting the short end of the stick and never advance like they should.
1,000%. You know, and to go off on a little bit of like a side avenue here, you're somebody who's very successful, right? I've been able to see some amount of success. I don't think you grew up rich.
The richest man in the world employs 150,000 people across all of his companies. What? The richest man in the world only employs 150,000 people around the world. Around the world. That's crazy. Trillionaire only employs 150,000 people around the world. A fucking trillionaire.
Did you grow up rich?
I did grow up upper middle class.
Okay, all right.
So my dad owned like a car dealership when I was a kid, and then he sold it. But we were comfortable for sure.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I definitely didn't grow up at the rock bottom, but you know, I come from Jamaica. It's a third world country. My parents, they grew up in poverty, all of that. But I would say I was still more comfortable than the average Jamaican, right? And was afforded the opportunity to migrate to America at 15 years old. But what would you say though, if you wanted to say, okay, so you're working class or you're lower working class, what is the pathway to improving your status financially? If working harder does not necessarily mean becoming more successful, making more money, what advice would you give to somebody though who is trying to make it work in this like unfair system? It's fucked up, but
you have to be smarter and work harder than the people next to you. My grandfather taught me that once you make yourself valuable, then they can't fire you. But I also think that to make yourself valuable, you find the best person at the job, at your job, and you try to beat them. You try to be them, and you try to beat them. You try to be better than them.
But shit, we still got to do something, right? Or
So,
try.
I would say you could still do all those traditional things like try to work harder, but understand that we need collective action to fix stuff, right? That somebody like me, I was just lucky to be born in an upper middle class household. Like, there's nothing special about me being born in that scenario, and everybody should have those same benefits that I had, right? You should be able to go to public school. You should be able to go to college. That should be for free as well, by the way. You should have health care. You shouldn't have to worry about stuff like medical debt at all. You shouldn't have to worry about student loan debt at all. You should have a roof over your head in the richest
He's not really giving any advice, but yeah, it's just be educated. And it doesn't even have to be book smart. It's just like be educated in the role in the environment in the company. Be educated in the um, damn it, the industry that you're trying to move up in, um, and just show that you are willing to work harder and you are better than the people next to you. That's the only way, and that takes time because you're starting from scratch. Like the managing partner at my law firm, uh, his daughters are receptionists for the summer. Like that's really valuable. I had to start as a file clerk at a firm that I never that nobody had heard
country
of.
in the world,
You know?
and not go bankrupt in the process. All like left-wing values. What I always say is all it is asking for the basics, right? Like just give people a chance, make it so the floor is reasonable, so that if they work hard, yes, they can make it. That's why I say we do need collective action. We need unionization. You got to vote for the right people to try to pass the right legislation.
Yeah, he really didn't get to that point. All right, I am gonna head to bed though. Gonna get Tommy has a bath scheduled. I have a haircut tomorrow, and then we're gonna do carne asada with some friends. Gonna stream again tomorrow. Gonna try to take it easy this weekend because my birthday is next weekend. I'm gonna go hard. Um, so streaming a lot. We'll finish this definitely. I want to finish this. Um, and yeah, keep fighting the fight. We're winning. Trump's name is coming off the Kennedy Senator tonight or tomorrow. That's beautiful. I really think that that is a W for the people when we've been getting a lot of L's lately. Um, Still hopeful for an Iran deal, but it you can't trust anything Trump says out of there, and a lot of he's getting more pushback from the right than the left on any proposed deal. So yeah, keep your heads up, watch some soccer, enjoy some culture. If there's a viewing event around you, go to it, take a friend. If there's any type of FIFA event around you that's free, take advantage of this. This only happens every 4 years and doesn't happen in our country that often. Be nice to the foreigners. If you're a racist, bigot, misogynist, MAGA, Trump supporting asshole, stay home. Just stay home. Don't even watch the FIFA Cup. You don't even like soccer. Watch a rerun of, fuck, I don't know. You guys don't watch long. Judge Judy or something. Like I don't know what do you people watch. Everything makes you upset. But anyways, good night, y'all. Take care.